Hi guys, I hope that you're doing well. Before we start on today's directive, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the difference between self-care and coping. So self-care is really anything that builds your reserve up. It's anything that helps you to process the emotions that you're feeling in order to function better in the future. Coping, on the other hand, is anything that you need to do in order to continue on with the things that you need to get done. So a lot of things can actually go back and forth in between coping or self-care. It just depends on what you specifically need. So for example, Netflix can be something that's coping because you've just been relying on it in order to not think about the things that you're doing and just move on to the next day. On the other hand, it can be self-care because you can be so worn out from being around people and talking and thinking and processing that it's really what you need right now. And that's completely fine. So there isn't a hierarchy between which one is better between self-care and coping. Both of them are beneficial and necessary, but just be aware as to which one you're doing at any given time. So this directive we're doing right now is one of my favorites. I personally had a really hard week, and so I just wanted to share this one because it's something that helps me a lot. This one has slightly more specific materials, but if you don't have those materials, it's completely fine. So I did mine on transparencies, which most people do not have in the house. So if you don't, then you can either use wax paper or just normal printer paper or notebook paper. If you are using transparencies or wax paper, you're either going to use crayons or oil pastels in order to make the colors actually show up. And if you're using paper, you're going to want to use markers, preferably Sharpies, so that it will kind of bleed in a little bit, but either way it'll work out. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your pieces of paper or transparencies or wax paper, whatever you're using, into 7 equal sizes. After that, you're going to pick 7 emotions that you've been feeling. If you're having a hard time, you can always Google a list of emotions, and that can help you realize if you might be feeling some that you didn't know that you were feeling. So after you have your 7 emotions, you're going to represent them using only colors, lines, and shapes. For each person, it's going to look very different. So the way I experience anxiety is going to be pretty different than the way you experience anxiety. And then after that, you're going to stack them together in whichever way makes the most sense to you. If you're doing this on paper, stacking it together, you might not be able to see it right away. But if you can't, you can always hold it up to a light, to a window, and be able to see through it that way. So this time I have a couple more reflection questions for you guys to think about. So I have 6 of them this time. The first one is, which feeling is the most noticeable? The second is, which one is at top? The third is, which feeling is on the bottom? The fourth is, which emotions are hidden? The fifth is, what feelings are most visible on the edges? And the sixth is, how do you see the feelings interacting with each other? I hope that this has been really helpful for you. I would love to hear about the process and how it's been going for you. If you have been doing the art therapy directives, or if there's anything that would be helpful for me to talk about, please don't hesitate to hit me up. Thanks.